Hey guys, so Ignis will be coming to DFFOO and let's talk about Ignis. Do you want Ignis BT? Well, if you want to really use Ignis, then yes, you will want his BT. His BT gives him a 6 AoE HP dumps follow-up attack. And with that, it actually transforms Ignis into a DPS unit. So if we are calculating that we are fighting against 2 enemies, which is the usual setup for most fights, then he is doing total of 12 HP dumps. While his EX, LD, his EX and HP plus, Papa, whatever, and Bowl is mostly single target, but his LD is AoE. So if we include his HP plus PNB HP dump, which is 9 with a splash 1 HP dump, so that's total of 10, and with his follow-up attack he deals about 22 HP dumps. And if you use his EX, which is 15 HP dumps single target, then we get about 27, and if we use LD, AoE 7 HP dump, so that's about 26 HP dump total, and that is really high. And you don't have to worry about using EX, LD, HP plus all the time and worry about his buff falling off, because his follow-up attack, every time it is triggered, it extends his buff by 1 as well, so you don't have to worry about the buff dropping off. So just for note, 22, 27, 26 HP dumps, I believe is, against multiple target is the highest we have right now in the game. Yeah, so that's that. But apart from damage, his BT doesn't offer any new utility. It's not like he need more utility because he does provide a lot. So literally his BT just make him a DPS, which means if you do not need him for his role as a DPS, then you can still use Ignis as a support. He does provide a tons of utility to your party, a ton of support to your party, and is one of the best charger in the game. So overall, Ignis kit, he has debuff evasion, but that depends if you are in Papa, Bowl, or Pastry, right? One of them provide debuff evasion. Then he supports by providing auras, battery, have healing, have fire enchant on his LD. If you don't want to enchant the party, then just don't use his LD, but you gotta wait for his buff to fall off. You can just do that by simply using S1, S2, and all his instant non-attacking skills. And because of those instant non-attacking skills, he's one of the best gauge charger. His EX also have third manipulation, where you can bring and pull your units up. And with his BT, he now turns into DPS as well. And how to use Ignis kit? Well, first of all, his FR is generic. Own HP at least 100%. Own active buff, debuff at 0, and Ignis have debuff evasion. So that makes his FR really generic. But his FR lack 50% HP damage limit up, which is one of the criteria that we will look upon unit's FR to activate it as the main FR, because 50% HP damage limit up is a lot of damage. Okay, but anyway, it's not like if you don't use that FR with 50% HP damage limit up, you will lose the fight. No, nothing like that. Alright, so just use Ignis FR if you want to for that easy condition. And one thing is that both of his condition is very generic, that you don't need to attack the enemy. So you can use a buff ability like Aerith and Arciela. Their echoes are buff echoes, so that will increase the HP damage bonus by 160% each time you use their echoes. So imagine if you have Ignis, Aerith, Arciela. Aerith used 2 non-attacking echoes, then Arciela used 2 non-attacking echoes, then you will be at 640%, including the initial 120%, you will be at 760% easily. Then you just, if you even want to, you can just use Ignis S1 or S2, and just 1 or 2 use of that will allow you to hit 900% HP damage bonus. So whatever you are doing is at over 900%. In terms of his BT, he is a DPS unit with his BT. So if you want to use Ignis in his BT phase, I would say actually it's very smooth to play Ignis. Like first you start the fight, you can charge the gauge to 100, you activate his BT effect, and that's 10 turn. Then you activate all of your other units' BT effect, and when you are back to Ignis turn, then you use his FR. Then all your units can use his echoes. By the time it's back to Ignis turn, then you can enter his BT phase. But do note that if you chain all the FR echoes right away like this, you will still have 10 turn left on your FR. So, and especially at that point, the HP damage bonus probably have not reached over 900%. So if you want, you can use some of this turn to supercharge the gauge. Alright, but do note that if you use just use another 1 or 2, because if you activated his BT effect already, then it will be at 8 turn after you use both of his echo. So if you use too much fast charging abilities, then you might not be able to finish his entire BT phase with his BT effect up. Okay, so do be careful with that. I do recommend here as well, if you have Rain's LD call, then you give him the additional launch during FR to do more damage. Okay, there's a lot of way. I mean, not to the point there's a lot of way, but if you want to increase his damage further, if you want to use that FR with 50% HP damage limit up, so you can bring character like Kieran. Okay, so if Kieran is the first unit to initiate FR, then the setup is slightly different. But anyway, it is not that difficult. Okay, Ignis is a really good unit. So if you do not have his BT, then you just want to charge the gauge. He fulfilled that role, so you don't need his BT for that. If you just want, his utility, debuff evasion, auras, healing, yeah, all of those good stuff, and you don't need his BT. Okay. For crystal passive, I'm recommending U4 because his EX hits so hard, 15 HP down single target. So yeah, the more that he can do his EX, the higher the overall damage that he can deal. Overall score, I'm giving him a 9 over 10. He's a very, very good unit. He covers so much role and utility, so he's like jack of all trades. And technically he's a master in all of them. He's the best DPS unit at this point, just to be out damaged next month. But at this point, he's like amazing. Even if it's out damaged next month, he still hit really hard. Okay, he still hit really hard, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, personally for me, I just green him in JP in order to test his kit out, in order to do the video for Ignis RC Alliance Disney. So I am already experimenting on his kit. I do not need to repeat that in GL. But if I'm lucky enough to get his BT for free, then I 100% will green Ignis. Alright? So, but whatever it is, I will definitely still throw ticket just to get the FR. Alright? So thank you very much and wish you luck.